Yo, it is Thursday, November the 7th. Sitting here just made some garlic parm chicken nuggets, I'll say. Some was looking like strips more, but whatever. We had overtime today. So, here's the one thing, right? So, New York just announced that they were getting rid of the pilot program that they were running where they were giving the migrants $350 a week, family of four, to basically to eat themselves as opposed to giving them the meals that they already had prepared or prepared box lunches or whatever. And so I guess my first thought is $350 a week is like a lot. Like a lot for real. But then a family of four, by seven. So that legitimately gave them $50 to eat per day. You know, when you like think about it. For a family of four. So that's $12 and what? 50 cents? Oh no, divided by five. Oh, $10. So that's $10 per person to eat for food a day in New York City. And I get it. It's a lot, right? It's a lot of money. I don't know. I think my issue is the fact that they don't have anything set in place. Okay, now you're stopping it. Are you busting those the mills in, you know? Are you like what are you doing or just like nothing? And if it's just nothing, then we have to think about the human aspect of it. And do you know what that's going to look like? I don't know how many migrants are in New York, but it's a couple of them. You know, like I don't care if it was, 10, I guess. It's just like the homeless people, our regular homeless people. I am always looking to feed somebody. Regardless if you get food stamps or not and you living on the street and you just can't get it together. Like that's not my call, you know? So like I'm always looking to feed whomever. I'm just really looking to feed you. Like I say at work, I only know about you at work unless we hang out outside of work. But I don't know what happens at 4:30 when you clock out. But the one thing that I can tell you, if you ever need food, just come to me and I got you. So anyway, back to these migrants. I think about when we had everybody was getting their max food stamps or whatever, and people who only qualify, let's say on a regular basis, a household of four would normally only qualify for $100, right, a month or whatever. Which they gonna appreciate that $100. Niggas is getting $23 that went up to $95 now. But people are grateful for that just because of everything else that it unlocks, you know. But imagine for 2 years you was getting $100. You was getting $100 was your allotment, but they was giving you a max allotment for a household size of four. We just gonna compare. So a household size of four was getting $973, $939, and then it jumped, I think, $973. I think that's what it is now. Somewhere in there. Household of four. So they was getting that. They would have normally been getting 100. But now they getting $973. Right? Facts. So remember, the migrants is getting $350 a week. times 4.33 because that's the multiplier. What's that? Well, 300 fact. It's close to 15. It's close to like 1,500 a month. So if you giving the migrants $1,500 a month to eat, but the maximum allotment for regular food stamps for a house of the poor that got all the qualifications or whatever is $9.73. What we doing? I'm comparing it to a person who don't have no income, but got an adult and 3 kids, 2 adults and 2 kids. One got laid off, and one was taking care of the girls, or the boy and the girl, whatever it is, taking care of the children. The mom was a homemaker. Yeah, she worked, but not really. And the dad, he was the worker, and then now he don't work. And that's what we finding. Me and my job, that's what I'm finding right now. Is people who never did this before, never was on welfare, is on welfare. So, like I always say, and if we can joke, but if we never get serious, then what are we doing? The maximum allotment for eligible individuals with no income is $9.73, and we out here giving $1,500. What do we like? Something is off with that. So facts. Citizens was getting $9.73 for 2 years. And then Biden had to stop it. Why? Because we were spending way too much money. There was too much money. They was giving the money away. $1,200 here. Don't got to pay no rent. More. They was giving the money away. Bailing banks out. Like, that's always going to happen. Banks are always going to get bailed out. If the bank didn't get bailed out, a lot of y'all would be out here crying because it means that the FDIC, I think it is, it don't exist. So if something happens to the money and you got money in there, you don't have that money no more. So you better thank God that the government be bailing these fucking banks out. Just saying. But now the 2 years is up. We don't have them extra food stamps, so I was going to be getting $100 originally. Now I'm only getting $100. But now I probably don't qualify because the rate of minimum wage, right? So pre-pandemic, I think it was maybe at 2018. I feel like minimum wage was $11, something like that. Now it's $15. So like the rates of pay had increased. So even if you was a mom, a 3, and you made $12 an hour back then, now you probably making $16, which is more money, but you don't get no food stamps. You don't even get the $100 no more, right? Because you over income. But everything around you is going up. So what you about to do? You either going to succumb to the pressures, which a lot of our like young people, y'all see them out, they on drugs. A lot of our older people are on drugs too. COVID gave us a lot of time to sit and think, and think. I had to check the time. But it's a lot of the fentanyl. The fentanyl is like crazy. It was always like wild, but now it's crazy. And this probably gonna hurt some feelings, but it's truly because Black people don't care about the fentanyl. We don't care. It's the people who you need to care is the people my age. That's who you need to care about fentanyl. And we don't, and it's only because we grew in the 80s and the 90s where our parents was out there and they was fiends. So y'all didn't care about them. And we managed, right? We managed. We went to college. We did all that. We managed. And so now when we have this issue and it's affecting us, But essentially it's affecting white people. We don't care. It sucks. I know. It sucks, but what you gonna do? So yeah. So now you make more, kind of, sort of, but everything is around you is high. All your lights is high, your rent is high, because the property tax, everything went up like at a fast pace that wages have not caught up. So in 2024, I'm going to be honest with you, with the rate of wages, and we did the $1 a year, but then COVID happened, and it's 2024. COVID began 2019. So it's not something that was just yesterday. This is 5 years. And I'm going to be honest, in New Jersey, minimum wage probably should be $20 an hour. It probably should be more than that. But $20 an hour should be minimum wage. But the problem is not paying you $25 an hour. It's really just the fact that they'd just rather go without these companies. These companies aren't hiring. They say they're hiring, but they're not hiring. Not the $20 an hour jobs. The minimum wage jobs was back when you working at McDonald's, you working fast food, you doing housekeeping, you doing something. It was like the minimum wage job. So they should be making $20 an hour. So that means the CNAs probably should be up to like 30. Nurses at least 50. Like probably more than that. Like I don't know, depending on what you're doing. But the companies they not going to pay that. So they rather just work short. My job right now is so understaffed that as a governmental agency, like I say, it's not necessarily they can't fire people. They can fire you if they want to fire you. You do something messed up or whatever, they want to fire you. But it rarely happens. But like I said, we'll always know when it's budget cuts because they just won't hire. And I started in 2018 to now. I don't know how short we are, but I know we short. Like we short. We got class in there now, but we need like another class. As soon as this class come out, y'all should have been already calling the next 12. They should already had their interview. The next 12 should have already had their interview. And that's just for me, that's a sign. It's like, damn, it's a government. This not nonprofit, but it's a government, meaning we get our funds from somewhere. And I always get tell when paper low, water low, it's crazy, printers start breaking, then it's taking them longer to get here and fix stuff or whatever. So you can always get tell when I be at job, like, it's the end of the month. We waiting on our food stamps. And that's legit. It be the end of the month or whenever it is, and we be waiting. You could tell that they waiting. And this shit is wild to me. So if jobs are waiting for money, what makes y'all think that just a regular person, like how y'all think they out here living? Just the regular mom with her 2 kids. That's a full-time CNA at a nursing home, busting down 40 hours a week. Probably got to work a little overtime. So then her working overtime means kids is not with their mom or their dad or whomever, grandma, grandpa, whoever it is that's raising them, So that ties into, the kids. It's like they out here lost. Like they so smart, but they so lost. It's so crazy. But I just think it's because the parents are working, the grandparents are working. So the TVs, the sports, the football, the cheerleading, that's what's like raising our children. Yeah. And I don't know. Again, I'm never talking about all. It's just things that I observe. But I guess that's all I got for this. Actually, I don't. Before I started, I was thinking about Kamala Harris. And like I remember in the beginning of the campaign when it was Trump and Biden and all the Republicans or all of Trump's campaigns, they've always been centered around like abortion and trans rights, and the ads against Kamala is she wants to have if you're considered trans in a prison, you want them to have, if they want to get the surgery or whatever, then you're supporting the surgery. So with this ad, it made me honestly just think about the Tuskegee Airmen and like the syphilis experiment. And so it just really, my mind got to really thinking, well, if they sign up for these surgeries or whatever, who's performing the work? What if it's just like medical students who need to get these hours in? Like, I want to know how much amount of money is being dumped into that. Like, I want to see the figure. I'm not saying it's not right or wrong or whatever. I just really want to see the figure. Like, if it's real, how much are you paying for this? Because I remember when I was doing city year and you need to go to the doctors or dental work or anything, you could have went to UPenn and paid like a couple of dollars and got what you needed to get done because the students was working on you. But whatever. But back to when it was Trump and Biden, all the campaigns were, the border crisis, the war, spending, education, yada, yada, yada. He too old. Him, Trump, like the same age, but whatever. Well, where's Kamala? You ain't seen Kamala. Kamala ain't did nothing. She don't do nothing, right? Like, that was honestly the gist of, well, where is Kamala? All that stuff was going on. Everybody was saying, where is Kamala? I remember, like, Charlemagne, they would really say that shit. Where is Kamala? And then everybody would say, she's the vice president. She doesn't do anything. She don't, But when it switched to she's now running for president, it just all switched. Kamala, the border's all. She let this economy get like this. And I was just like, but y'all just said that she don't do nothing. It's the vice president. So I'm going to be honest. I don't know what the vice president do. I don't know. I think about when you got like a manager or owner and a manager and a supervisor or something like that. It's a little bit of duties, but it's the manager that gets... that, feeds the information down. It was never really it's not the supervisor, So that's just honestly what I thought of. I was like, it's crazy that now that she's decided to run or really just been thrown into this, that all of the problems are hers and none of them problems are Biden. Yeah, I was like, where he at or whatever, seen him today make a speech and everybody was like, oh, he looks lively now. And I was like, he was old. He may possibly could have had like a stroke or something. We wouldn't know. He about 90 years old. They like 80. Like, things happen to older people. They get sick. They be sick for a while. Worked in a nurse home. They be sick and it just be regular. Oh, she got the cold or she got a cold or she got the flu. So when COVID, just bring you back to COVID, seeing how it was really people who died from flu in there, but then when COVID hit, it was a different strain. So I just feel like if it was anybody, because you don't know what this is, you're trying to listen to the experts. But the problem is y'all didn't even no disrespect, y'all didn't really let the experts try to figure it out. That you expected them to figure COVID out in a year, 2 years. Now we know. I can't sit here and say that they lied. But what if they just really didn't know? Now what? So you mad about that because they went in there experimenting or whatever. But that's how you figure things out, by experimenting. It's just this shit was sped the fuck up and like we seen to happen in real time. No, this don't work. This don't work. They don't never let us see trials and all like this. Never has this ever happened where we seeing it in real time. Fauci, I don't know where you are, but I hope like you alive. I hope they didn't kill you because they was on the internet talking crazy about him. And I get it. But at the end of the day, They just doing experiments, right? All right. In closing, this migrant crisis, I just think we need reform. I'm not saying you need to deport everybody, but some, right? Seen a joke, we'll end with this. It was a joke on Instagram. I don't know, the lady was talking about Latinos being racist or whatever, and how one is more racist than the other or whatever. The Haitians or the Cubans don't like the Haitians, or the Haitians don't like the Dominicans, or what the fuck ever. At the end of the day, the Puerto Ricans don't like all of them because they're citizens. Meanwhile, just the white man is like, fuck all the Latinos, you know? But then in the comments, somebody was like saying, I guess it was the Dominica to the Haitians. Yeah, because I think they share an island. And their racism came out. Like, it came out in the comments, and I was like, yo, this crazy. So long story short, that person said that they pretty much were better than the Haitian. And somebody was like, but then in the comments, somebody said, yeah, but all y'all trying to get to America. All y'all. Not just the Haitians. The Dominicans is coming too, right? So I was like, Then I had to think. I was like, I wonder how is it that two countries share like an island, but only one of them get refugee status? How does that happen? So I got to do some research. Why are the Haitians considered refugees, and the Dominicans, you either coming in here illegally or you gotta pay and get a legal permanent residency, wait all them years, get a sponsor. Like, you gotta do all that. I don't know. All right, y'all.